anticipation for when things get going for real in a couple weeks?
I'm anxious to see the rest of our guys.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of guys come in the summer and had some guys missing in spring football, so we got quite a few guys that I haven't necessarily seen before perform or practice or anything like that. So excited to see everybody and just kind of see how we've progressed since spring football. You know, I know we've got a lot of confidence going with kind of our group right now with how things are going in the summer and player-led practices that they're kind of doing on their own. It's been going really well for us, so just excited to get back out there with them.
Cade, has Cade been doing well and leading some of these player-led sessions and been enthusiastic about what he learned in the spring and taking it into the fall?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been through this before in terms of bringing in an offense and kind of transitioning some teams, and so it's cool this point in time to really see how the buy-in is just taking another step with our guys and just some of that confidence within them of running this and where things are becoming muscle memory and they're not having to think as much. And so this is kind of a fun time to really see how they've accelerated mentally, probably more than anything, compared to when they first learned this. But he's been doing a great job. We've got good leadership really on our whole team, you know, but I think offensively we've got, you know, kind of a cast of leaders that have done a great job this summer. Just do what we do. I mean, we practice it. We do the same stuff over and over again. It's all about repetitions with how we go about our business offensively. And, you know, those guys have done a lot of work this summer to kind of catch up, you know, with what they could, missing spring football. But, I mean, that's what we do anyways. I mean, these guys are going to get a lot of repetitions here very soon.
Gary, you talked about this as kind of a can't-miss opportunity. I guess you've been here in Clemson for a while now. Do you feel, you know, why you took on this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, everything's been great. I mean, it really has. You know, we got players that we're excited about, players that have played together a lot. You know, we've got a great deal of continuity, you know, really on our whole team. And so that's exciting. And then the staff has been unbelievable. The buy-in's been great from a staff perspective. And so, yeah, I mean, everything you kind of thought it would be, it's been. And so that's been, you know, been awesome for me to actually experience.
Coach, obviously you have a great running back tandem in Shipley and Mappa, but with what you saw on the spring from Thomas and you guys, are you pretty excited about the depth that you have there?
I am. You know, I think those guys, you know, obviously Phil and Will are forces to be reckoned with. You know, and I think they're going to take a huge step from what we did this spring. I mean, they should and they will. Yeah, but then the rest of the guys I think are going to bring a lot of depth to us. And then we brought two new guys in this summer that, you know, may give us a little different kind of spark at times or some different skill set that I think is going to make, you know, that room a really well-rounded room, which is very important for us and what we do.
Are there any sort of unanswered questions you have about the spring that you're looking to kind of resolve or figure out in the fall?
Yeah, there's always things, you know, you need to get better at and identify. Again, I think the biggest thing for us is seeing pretty quickly in fall camp with everybody that we have back practicing, you know, if who our best guys are, you know, what can they handle, what can they get really good at. That's the things that we got to identify, you know, fairly quickly in fall camp. Yeah, I know he's gotten faster. I mean, the guy's physically, he's in a better place than what he's been at. You know, that sky's the limit for him. I mean, he was really, really good for us, really productive this spring. I thought he was consistent the whole way through, but I think physically and probably his confidence level is growing. And he's a confident kid anyway. I mean, the guy's made, you know, a lot of plays here already, but he's going to continue to make a lot more for us. But I think physically he's really starting to buy into the importance of that for him in his position.
Garrett, a guy like Bo Collins who started out strong his sophomore year, but the injury with the shoulder, how has he recovered from that, and where have you seen him grow this summer and spring?
Bo physically looks great. I mean, he's in a really good place physically. I know guys are excited about what he's been doing, throwing sessions and different things this summer, but Bo's you know, from my interaction this spring and just seeing him this summer, Bo's a sharp guy. So I think mentally he's going to really kind of just hit the ground running, so to speak. So I'm really excited to see Bo out there.
Garrett, you talked about how you done this before. You've transitioned offenses before. This is a championship team that you're joining, right? How much of a transition has it been? Have there been a lot of different things that you've had to say, okay, well, we need to do this a little bit different than what we were doing?
I mean, there's differences, and it's kind of like what we talked about in the spring. I mean, terminology, how you teach some things, maybe minimizing what you're doing and just kind of honing it in a little bit more. I mean, just those are kind of philosophical things, probably more than anything, and a mentality. But yeah, I mean, you got to tweak things and make it your own. And I think that's what we're trying to do right now.
Coach Davis Allen's gone now. Jake Green still was ready to be the guy. Can he be about as special tight end as you've coached?
He's unique. He's obviously he's long. He's very rangy. He's athletic. He can really run, and one of those guys that you expect to make contested catches. With his size and his position. But yeah, I think he's really settled in this summer and kind of knows what to expect now with our offense. But Jake's got a great skill set. There's no doubt about it. And so I'm excited to see what he's going to do this fall.
Behind him, you got Cade Dennis, Banks Boat, made a couple of good catches in the spring game. Do you think he and Sapp can provide a little bit of depth behind those guys?
Yeah, I mean, they need to, and they're going to get pushed this fall. You got two new tight ends that walked in the building this summer. Some young guys that physically look really, really good, impressive-looking dudes. So those second, third, fourth kind of tight ends right now, I mean, it's really going to be a battle, and that's really going to help shape that room, I think. So it's going to be great competition, here in the next month.
Looking back on Cade's 2 starts against UNC and Tennessee, I guess what were your takeaways from viewing that film with him by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, probably he's not scared of the moment, and I already kind of probably knew that about him. But the kid's a competitor. There's no question. Ultra competitive. The moment's not going to be too big for him. I just think that's kind of in his DNA. And so you saw some great things that he did. And, also got to see some things where there's going to be some, I want to say growing pains, but just some learning that's going to happen that comes with experience. And that's just the nature of the beast at that position.
Here, can you speak to how you can help this offense take the next step? Like some of the things you've seen and some of the goals for this offense in terms of getting on to the next level. How do they take that next step?
I think our whole approach is just, we've got to be physical. I mean, that we're not going to lose that. We're going to be a physical team. But I just think the consistency in what we do, and it doesn't have to be really complicated. We expect to have great players here at Clemson, and I think it's exciting just to be simple and be in attack mode and just let our guys really play and be free. I mean, that's kind of our whole approach with them, and just our players taking on that mentality. So, that's really what we're emphasizing to our guys right now. Man, I mean, those guys they're fun kids, first of all. I mean, they've all got great personalities, and they want to be here. Clemson's important to them, so you can just kind of feel that from those guys, I think. I mean, you can feel it from everybody, but you kind of have this little different feel from them. But those guys have been great. It's great to have them on our team and to, to help us kind of on the recruiting trail, too. Of guys that were really on locally that see them coming to Clemson, that obviously helps. So they've been a big part of what we're doing right now.
With a guy like Jake Briningstool, who's looking to be the feature tight end of this offense, what do you envision his role to be coming the fall?
I mean, he's got to be a difference maker for us. I mean, obviously you want him to be the big tight end that can make possession catches and be a force in the red zone and be a matchup problem, but he's going to be asked to do things in the running game where he's got to give us a spark there and give us some value and in our running attack. So those guys are asked to do a lot in our offense. I mean, the quarterback and the tight ends, those are the two positions that probably have to learn the most with what we do. And that's probably the case for most offenses, but certainly in ours. So he's going to have a lot on his plate.
We're only in the Big 12 for a year at TCU, and fair or unfair, they kind of have that reputation of not being a defensive league. curious what your opinions are of the ACC, the defenses in this league, and the different kind of challenge.
I just think probably schematically some things are probably a little bit different just in general from conference to conference. But, I mean, there's some damn good defenses in the Big 12. I mean, I don't know if I buy into that whole misconception. And there's some really good defenses, obviously, in this league. And with where we're at geographically, you're always going to face probably D linemen that are some freaks, and there are some real players. So, yeah, I mean, this is a part of the world where, defense is key. There's no doubt about it. Kind of same thing a little bit. I guess my answer, just trying to be consistent in our approach as coaches, what we're trying to relay to them, giving our kids freedom and giving them ownership. I think that's key. I mean, I was watching the quarterback show with Mahomes on Netflix right now, and the Chiefs are giving Coach Reed's giving them a period in practice just to come up with whatever play they want to do as players. And so, I think that's a little bit of kind of what we got going on here in terms of just giving your players ownership, and so they can buy in even more, I think is always kind of critical, especially in year one of kind of a new offense or new transition there.
Cade in the Orange Bowl, Cade did a lot of running backwards. I know he was under the gun a lot under severe pass rush. And you can get away with that in the high school level, but probably not this level. Do you address that with him a little bit? Or?
Yeah, I mean, he knows where he's got to get better, and you got to do it in real time. You can sit there and we can all go up there and watch tape and sit there in the air conditioning